Friends, this evening we're thankful to have Michael with us to offer a step talk. We're up to step 3 tonight. Michael, welcome, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Johnny. Hey, family, my name is Michael, and I am a drunk and a junkie. I have a sponsor who has a sponsor. My home group is the Wednesday 5:30 evening at St. John Church. And on Halloween, I was fortunate and grateful to celebrate 25 years of consecutive sobriety. And that brings us to step 3. And I wouldn't be here tonight without the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, and especially step 3, which has made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. And if many of us have a problem with the word God in that step, and it's the first time God is mentioned in the steps. The second step mentions a power greater than ourselves, and I had problem with the word God. And when my first sponsor was going over the third step with me for the first time, he wanted to know why. And I told him, well, I don't have any time for organized religion. And he said, Michael, you're confusing religion with spirituality. And the step 3 is not about religion, it's about spirituality. He said, let me tell you this, that religion is for the drunken addict religion is for the person who doesn't want to go to hell, and spirituality is for the drunken junkie who's already been there and doesn't want to go back. And so we dived into step 3. Then he made the point of saying, just to make sure, let me just tell you this. He said, step 2 does not say that we came to believe that the Lutherans could restore us to sanity. Step 3 does not say that we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of the Baptists. He said, this program is all spiritual, not religious. So what we do with step 3 is we take a leap of faith and we go into action and we give up the ghost. We are no longer in charge. We no longer in control, and we unburden ourselves with self-will run riot. And we begin to live the principles of willingness, surrender, trust, faith in a power greater than ourselves, which I prefer to call God, that things will be handled in my life without me having to handle them. Because the difference between my will and God's will is that with my will, there's a whole hell of a lot more pain, misery, and sadness. So I take step 3. I take step 3 on a daily basis. I'm not in charge. I'm not God. And when I decide to let go and let God, my life is manageable. And my life is good. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't speed traps, potholes, because there are. I've lost a job. I've lost a house. I've lost a wife. My parents died. I was in a bad car accident, nearly killed. But that's life on life's terms. As long as I'm willing to turn my life and my will over to the care of God on a daily basis, which I need to do on a daily basis, life is good. I don't get inside my head. I don't try to run things. I don't try to judge people. And I'm on an even keel. Now, the judge, my first sponsor, was, as I mentioned, I think was the last judge to sentence me. And he told me one day that God will move a mountain in your life, Michael, but you have to bring a shovel. And I said, well, what do you mean? And he said, well, it starts with the third step by you picking up a shovel. And if you don't take the third step, you can't be open, honest, willing. You can't be of service. You can't do the next right thing. You can't say the next right thing. So you need to pick up your shovel. And I was in treatment at the time, and I was in a 90-day inpatient treatment center, and it took me only 106 days to finish the 90-day program. And one reason is because I had trouble with the word God in the third step. So the judge tells me, Michael, I want you to read how it works every night in your bunk before lights go out in the dorm. And I'm early in sobriety, the first few weeks. One night I'm reading this and the lights go out in the dorm. And I just gotten to the point where it says, there is one who has all power. That one is God. May you find him now. The lights go out in the dorm, but the lights go on in here. And I got out of my bed and I got down on my hands and knees and I took the third step for the first time. And I meant it. And I took it every day. And what happened? My life started to get better. My life is so much better than I ever could have imagined. All because of people like you, a loving and caring God, and the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, third step. My sponsor in Washington, D.C. told me that once I had reached a certain amount of years, he said, keep your program in the third step and the 11th step, but always start with the third step. And that's what I do on a daily basis. Now, before I wrap up here, I just want to say that I have 100 times more than I need and 1,000 times more than I deserve. You know, all because of Alcoholics Anonymous, the steps, and especially the third step, because that was what connected me to God. It brought me back to God, and with God, I have everything that I could need. This God of my understanding now, which is in the third step. Your God may not be my God, but as long as we believe in a higher power and we work toward that goal, life can be good. I'd like to read the third step prayer to finish. God, I offer myself to thee to build with me and to do with me as thou wilt. Relieve me of the bondage of self, that I may better do thy will. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of thy power, thy love, and thy way of life. May I do thy will always. Third step saved my life. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. Thank you.
Michael, that was amazing. Thank you so much for your witness, your testimony, and the good work that you do every day. We're all made better by it. Bless you. Take care.
And now that I know that it's gone, all I can do is wish you the thrill is gone. The thrill is gone. The thrill is gone. The thrill is gone. You know you done me wrong, baby. And you'll be sorry someday. Yeah, you know you done me wrong, baby. And you'll be sorry someday. Yeah, you know you done me wrong, baby. And you'll be sorry someday. Gonna take a freight train down at the station now. I don't care where it goes. Climb a mountain, the highest mountain alone. Gonna jump out, nobody's gonna know. Can't you see? Can't you see what that woman she been doing to me? Can't you see? Can't you see what that woman been doing to me? I'm gonna find a hole in the wall. No. I'm gonna crawl inside and die. Cause my lady, I mean I'm wrong. She gonna let me, she never told me to lie. Can't you see? Can't you see what that woman she been doing to me? Can't you see? Can't you see what that woman she been doing to me? Jim. Now let's bring it down a little bit now. This is a team sport up in the house. Ain't it, John? So this is what I want y'all to do. I'm gonna buy a ticket to Selma You're as far as a king. Ride me a southbound all the way to Georgia until the train you run out of track. Can't you see? Can't you see what that woman she been doing to me? Can't you see? She's crazy. She's crazy, I tell you. But now Sister Heather.
I'm so grateful to Michael for that step talk. That's about as good a step talk, third step, that I think you could ever hear. And we enter this holiday time to be reminded of the decisions to turn our life and will over to the care of God as we understand God. Might be a needed reminder. You know, this time of year is very hard on a lot of people. It's also the time of year that is statistically shown that if there's going to be a relapse, now's the time that it's might come on. So it's all the more important for us to do the necessary work to kind of keep our stuff together, so to speak. So if that means make a meeting, or if you have a sponsor, call your sponsor and be in that continual relationship with your sponsor. It's also a time that you might discover you need some resources to help you from a therapeutic point of view with your mental health that you've not considered before. And you've heard me speak previously about the Living Well Network. I'll put that number up on the screen again now. If you are in a position where you feel you need a counselor, a therapist, and you don't know where to go, you call these folks and they help assess what your needs are and put you in the company of those who can help bring the need that is needed for you, the help that is needed for you. So I encourage you to do that. Moving into our prayer time tonight, all of those things being present, that this most wonderful time of the year is not for so many. This continued stress and strain we all feel with COVID, the stress and strain we all feel with this political angst that continues to be amplified in so many ways. And not for nothing, but it really does not matter where you are on the political spectrum, but just know this. The media outlets that propagate whatever story they propagate only make money if they have you agitated enough to listen. And I think we're in a culture and a climate of purposeful agitation that calls upon our less than best selves and amplifies those biases and prejudices that we have about people because of what they look like, where they live, who they love, where they came from, who they voted for. That machine that is being fed by our anger is not going to stop. So we have to determine what we're going to let that, what kind of a role we want that machine to have in our lives and in our perspective. So a little extra, you didn't ask for that, but I'm feeling that kind of strong right now. But all of that, let's bring it together in prayer. Pray for your own work and recovery and those who have been impacted by your addiction, and as well as those who are walking with you on the journey toward your sobriety. And after a minute of silence, let's share in serenity prayer. Let's pray. Serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Okay, as we've done for the last several weeks, we've got one more. This is John again, and that'll be it for me until next week. The band's getting back together, I think, this week to do a few more episodes. My final episode with you as leader will air on January 1, and we'll talk more about that and goodbyes. But until then, we'll see you next week.
like a haystack needle. 'Cause where it lives, they don't use good people. They're just enough. But I said, his head long, his feet is hard and gritty. He spent living up walking the streets of New York City. He's almost dead, breathing on their pollution. He tried to move, but Lord, there's no solution. And it's just enough for the sad day. I hope you hear inside my voice of sorrow, and that it motivates you to a better tomorrow. This place is cruel, nowhere must be colder. And if we don't change, the world